Okay, just had to figure out that situation. We've got an exciting community call today because we've got guests. I know you guys love guests. What's up? What's up, everyone? Ex-Aleo? Who's ex-Aleo CEO? Yeah, exactly. He got ousted. Ousted? Out? Um, Brendan from Whisper Node, Unicorn, Pavlo. What's going on, you guys? Anna B. Wow, what's happening? Well, you guys, Anna B's profile picture moves IRL. That's freaking crazy. Okay, so we've got some guests for you guys. We've got one of our grantees who will be doing a little 10-minute presentation, a little 10-minute prezzo for you. Fao, Housen, KJ, Sula, Blue Pez. And then we've got the one and only Alex Pruden, who will be also doing a little chit chat for you guys. So first we'll do a presentation with this team called Puzzle. They're one of our grantees. Puzzle, if you're on, can you give us a little holler in the chat so we see you? And we'll, thank you so much, Crypto SPB. And we'll get you up on stage. Puzzle in the chat. There's Matt. Okay, sweet. Puzzle's in the chat. You should have the yes, stress test is coming. Absolutely. You guys should saw the announcement. I'll talk about that. First we'll get Nodari. Can we just make sure that Puzzle Matt can get on stage so he can run his thing?
Yeah, I just invited him to talk,
Perfect.
so he just need to accept.
Just gotta accept it, and also so he can present, hopefully, if he has a slide. There's
Yeah.
Puzzle Matt. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
How are
Super
ya?
excited. It's I don't know, super excited time. We're here to make Aleo freaking awesome, and we're excited to share how we're gonna do that today.
Heck yeah. You know what? I'll give you guys the stage. You're on, you're alive. So take off, do your thing, and then whenever you're done, just I'll turn off my image so people just focus on you.
All right, let me see if I can share my screen with everyone. Viv, you mind giving me a thumbs up if you guys can see the screen?
Yeah, we do see your screen.
Okay, perfect. All right, y'all. So I'm Matt with Puzzle, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about one of the exciting things we're doing to make Aleo freaking awesome with ZK games and giveaways with Puzzle. So we're excited to finally announce this. We've been working behind the scenes for quite a bit to make a great SDK for ZK games, as well as optimizing our wallet so that proving's quick, state management's quick, and everything above. So I'm going to give a quick rundown on Puzzle first, and then go into ZK games and some things for you guys to do. So if you guys scan either of these QR codes, the one on the right, I believe links to either our app or our website so that you can download our wallet. And then on the left is our tutorial for making your first ZK game on Aleo and being eligible for our weekly ZK giveaway. So, making Aleo freaking awesome. How are we going to do this? What is Puzzle doing? And quick intro on Puzzle. So, Puzzle's mission is to increase the number of on-chain users, increase the number of on-chain businesses, increase the number of network businesses, and eventually make a more dynamic collective capitalism. We're going to have some writings later on about how we're doing this and our roadmap and everything. So we'll just leave it there for now and get right to, what is Puzzle and ZK games and giveaways. So quick background on Puzzle. We're a bunch of Georgia Tech, USC, University of Chicago, and Carnegie Mellon grads that worked a couple years out of school and kind of were like, hey, I think we're making the world worse at our jobs. Places like DoorDash are actually lowering the minimum wage for people, even though it is a convenience. And we all kind of came away with the feeling of like, hey, there's a need for better business models in the world. So what happened? Well, Constitution DAO happened at the end of 2021, where they raised $47 million as a DAO, but they were outbid because the multi-sig was public. So that was kind of the origin story of Puzzle. In fact, we worked on a little side project to try to add privacy and ended up coming with the first ever private multisig. And that kicked off our journey with Aleo over 2 years ago now. And we're able to raise some funds by some of the bigger names in the space like Bain and Sixman, and worked with a whole host of privacy leaders and on-chain orgs to try to bring privacy to on-chain orgs. That led us to find, hey, there's a lot of infrastructure, there's a lot of things that need to be built, and crypto just needs more on-chain users. It needs more on-chain businesses. It's got to be fun, it's got to be rewarding, and it's got to be private. And that is where Puzzle Wallet was born. So we're excited. We finally have a wallet that's great to use. It's fun, rewarding, feeless, and private. And how is it rewarding? Well, that's where the Puzzle ZK games and giveaways comes in. One analogy that I like to use to kind of explain what our ZK games and giveaways are is a brick and mortar arcade kind of exists today as a business. So let's say you have a shooter game inside an arcade and you get tickets for that. You have a racing game inside of an arcade and you get tickets for that. And maybe you have a basketball game and you get tickets for that. Well, you can go to the arcade store and maybe redeem those tickets for a Minion or a Pikachu toy for a set exchange rate. That works fine in brick and mortar, but once you get to the internet, everyone has walled gardens around all this data, and it's really valuable to businesses. They want to keep their data private, and they want to keep their walled gardens because they're able to run successful businesses. So games and their data are kind of separated from the businesses that would be doing giveaways. And there isn't any replication of kind of an arcade similar to having an arcade community store and the internet. There's some things like Groupon, but our question that we want to ask is we now have these decentralized blockchain networks. What if we could take those walled gardens and preserve the privacy properties while having the shared community garden similar to like an arcade store has? And that is where our ZK Games and Giveaways comes in. We are hoping that more people build games, and we're going to work on bringing more businesses on chain so that we can have an Aleo arcade and an Aleo community store for people to redeem their tickets or whatever they get in their games for actual real world businesses and prizes. So, making ZK Games with Puzzle SDK and Puzzle Wallet. We have our ZK Games Puzzle SDK tutorial that I shared earlier, and just want to level set with the types of ZK games. So Puzzle SDK for ZK Games is just for simple hidden information and shared state games. So this is like pure v pure games. Like we have the example of Where's Alex, which is probably the most simplified version of a battleship game. Instead of having a big 20 by 20 board, you have just a 2 by 1 board, and one person hides something the other person guesses, but it's similar to Guess Who or Battleship. You can use the SDK for small and pures versus a pure hidden information game, and this is like blackjack, where the dealer has a hidden card, and it could have a small number of peers playing against it. And coming soon, we are working on larger number of peers like crossword puzzles, Wordle, Sudoku, things like that. But what the SDK is not for large, massive multiplayer online games or autonomous world games. That is a whole endeavor. People are working on even their own blockchains for things like that. I encourage, if anyone is out there working on that, please let us know so we can help spotlight you guys, because that is not where we are touching, and we're just focused on bringing simple games and making Aleo awesome that way. So, what is the Puzzle Wallet and SDK for ZK Games? How does it kind of work? Well, our Puzzle Wallet utilizes this thing called shared state, which is what's used in these ZK games, and we help manage interaction and state management for these shared states. The Puzzle SDK is used for interacting with shared state and user states in a ZK game, and then we have example repos for getting started, as well as some dev tools and infrastructure to kind of help you get off the ground. And last but not least, we need the wallet to work with that. So our wallet is, and we need it to work well. So we're super excited to announce some of the work we've been doing behind the scenes on Puzzle Wallet. It's non-custodial, but we also have built Aleo account abstraction and feeless transactions with delegated proving and programmable and MPC multisigs. We also have a mobile app that is Wallet Connect compatible. We have fast proving with a lot of proving key synthesis and state management things under the hood. And the iOS and extension is available today. iOS is on test flight with the App Store review pending. And last but not least, the wallet is optimized for the shared state for ZK games and making feeless transactions for your shared state accounts so that you can play ZK games. So if you want to get started, here is the link to the repo again. So if you guys want to just take 5 seconds, scan this, or just go to docs.puzzle.online. Sorry, I should have thrown that link in there as well. But yeah, this is the tutorial for building your first ZK game in under an hour. We feel pretty good about how battle tested it is. We've had about 20 games made with it thus far, and a quick explainer on how the game works that is in the tutorial. So first, you're going to publish your ZK game rules on Aleo, and then the steps in the game is you set your hiding spot on the ZK game board, and you send the ZK game board to your opponent with the hiding spots private. The opponent guesses the spot to try to get your hiding spot, and then you reveal whether it's right or wrong. So some frequently asked questions we get is like, why make a ZK game with Puzzle SDK on Aleo? Well, we think first and foremost, you can learn something new and add tools to your toolkit. You can create something fun and share with your friends. But the thing that we're super excited about is that we are going to be giving away special rewards for puzzle developers that make ZK games with this every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's how we're making Aleo freaking awesome. And we are super, super stoked to kick this off for the new year. And this is one of our big things. We want to make Aleo fun. And we're going to start right now because we ran this at the end of last year with Dr. Adaku and the great folks at the ZK House Africa, where if you guys want, you can go and look at any of these games that were made with it. And you know, you can see things like Where's Adam and some of the Forbidden Fruits things there. And what we're going to do today is give our first ZK game and giveaway. So, without further ado, anyone ready to spin the wheel? See who's going to win this giveaway? All right. All right, it looks like Where's My Candy is the winner. So we'll be doing this every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, kicking off this Friday. So please go to docs.puzzle.online and get started making your own ZK game today.
Sweet! Puzzle man, this is epic. Wow, cool. Thank you so much for sharing. This is great. Tell people where they can get in contact with you if they have questions. What's the best way to engage in this?
Yeah, so the best way to get started is to go to the docs.puzzle.online and go to the tutorial section for building your first ZK game. And then in that, there is a link to our Telegram. And our Telegram is our Puzzle Devs community Telegram right now. So if you have any questions while you're starting, we have a support channel there. So please hit us up at the Telegram if you need any help as you're building.
Sweet. Thank you so much. This is epic. Really appreciate it. Luke, what's up, Luke? Yeah, Puzzle, thank you so much. I'm going to take the floor back from you guys if that's all right.
Absolutely.
You might have some questions.
Sweet. Oh, do we have questions?
Yeah, KJ, go ahead and ask a question. We've we've got Alex on for you guys, so we do want to give some time for him to come on and do some questions as well. But KJ, if you've got questions, who won? Who won? KJ's typing. We'll give. Where's my candy? Yeah. Okay, folks, let's get Alex on, and maybe you guys can stay in the chat, Matt, and answer questions in the chat.
Yeah, we can answer some questions.
Okay, well, this is a good question. So from KJ, if we play poker, as far as I know, every player enters their seed to generate randomness, but how do you ensure that every player has a unique card?
Yeah, so we do things like that with Leo programs. So we'll help provide support too if you have questions on any of your Leo programs on generating randomness or making sure that you use the randomness beacon correctly.
Cool. Sweet. All right, Puzzle Matt, I'm going to kick you off. I'm going to get Alex Pruden up here. Thank you so much for coming on.
Babe.
See ya. All right, Alex. Welcome.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Hopefully you guys will be able to see me in a second. But yeah, first off, hey, Matt, thanks so much for presenting. Awesome to see you again. And yeah, really excited to check out all of the different games that people build on Aleo. Cool. All right. Well, my video's loading. I guess I will just start kicking things off. Okay, let me just check one thing, make sure. Video settings, let's see. Okay. Looks like it should be working. All right, let's try this one more time. Yeah, light's on now.
Still no vid.
Still no vid. All right, well. Okay. All right, well, I have no idea what's going on. But just presume that you guys, I want to be here. I want to be here, with you guys in, virtual reality in the metaverse. But anyway, no, I am really excited to be here. So I have a huge announcement, the biggest announcement, I think, of my career as the former CEO of Aleo, which is I'm no longer the former CEO of Aleo. Many of you may have heard, but we have formed the Aleo Foundation. And I am no longer the CEO of Aleo Systems Incorporated, which is going to be rebranded and renamed. And I'm now the executive director of the Aleo Network Foundation. Why is that important? That's important for a couple of reasons. One, it means that we feel mainnet is imminent. So we split the company into two organizations. So there's two separate organizations now focused on Aleo. One being the company, formerly known as Aleo Systems Incorporated, and the second being the Aleo Network Foundation. And I'm leading the Aleo Network Foundation. Howard is back to being the CEO of Aleo Systems Incorporated. Can everyone hear me okay? Dave, can you hear me?
Yep, perfectly.
Okay, cool. All right. Just making sure that I'm not having any issues on the connectivity front. Okay. So I'm really excited about that. And, a big part of what the Aleo Foundation's mission is, well, actually, the entirety of the Aleo Network Foundation's mission is to steward the network. And part of stewarding this new network is going to be cultivating and helping to invest in a healthy community of developers and builders defined broadly. And obviously we've had the community team led by Viv, and many of our great ambassadors who have been doing this for us over the last couple of years. But now it's really a time where not only is this the focus of one team at Aleo, this is the focus broadly of the Aleo Network Foundation, right? This is one of the major pillars of our efforts. So I just wanted to say that, and maybe I'll conclude by saying that I am excited to be able to spend more time with all of you and focus on, building the community now that the technology is mostly done. And I'm very excited for all of you to show me what you're interested in, what's exciting for you, and and build this network and the future of privacy in Web3 and hopefully Web2 together. So that's it. Viv, do you think I missed anything, or should we go to Q&A?
Let's go to Q&A.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Any
I guess
questions that you guys have?
while I'm waiting for questions, I'll also just say like I will be joining these bi-weekly, and
Yes.
we're going to start having other team members join more frequently as well. I know you guys had John, JR recently presented, I think, not on this call, but JR presented. Did JR present yesterday or
Oh,
on
yes,
Monday?
but not on. Yeah. Not a Discord
Yeah.
call.
We're gonna
Yep.
start having more of the folks from the team presenting to the community. Okay, someone said public distribution sections of tokenomics. Yes, public distribution of tokenomics refers to 3 buckets. The first bucket is, there's certain activities that we said we're going to be incentivizing with tokens throughout the course of the various test nets, right? And so those test nets, testnet 2, testnet 3, etc., deployment incentives. So that is part of the initial public distribution. The other part of the initial public distribution is Coinbase quests. Coinbase quests, we're going to be doing a quest program, which we will be announcing with more fanfare soon. But the quest program, just for those of you who aren't aware, is kind of it's basically tasks that you do. In fact, puzzle will be featured in one of those quests, and it's basically a way where you kind of get familiar with the Aleo network, get familiar with the applications on top, perform a series of steps like download a wallet or do an action in a game, and then as part of that, you'll get rewarded Aleo credits. And that's all managed through the Coinbase Quest platform. So there's like KYC that you obviously have to do in advance, but that's a second part of the initial public distribution. And then the last part of the public distribution is actually forward looking, which is going to be a grants program that will be managed by the foundation. But the intention of the grants program is not to sell to investors or to redistribute to any existing holders. It's to provide grants to new builders coming into the ecosystem over the next 5 years. So those are the three main buckets of public distribution. I hope that was helpful. Let's see. Go looking at the chat here.
Maybe the
Okay.
test results from the first one.
First stress test result. Yeah, first stress test. There was 12 issues, 12 bugs that we identified in the first stress test. We fixed all 12 bugs, but we introduced a new bug in one of the fixes. So we found 12, fixed 12, and created one. And that's actually, for those of you who've been paying attention to the network lately, we had a pretty big outage over the weekend, and this was a result of this bug fix, which actually the bug is a pretty subtle bug, and it has to do not with Aleo specifically, but actually with the design of Bullshark Narwhal. So there's an edge case that we kind of hit here, and that unfortunately uniquely affects our architecture. Now, the plan for solving that is we hired as a contractor one of the paper authors of the Bullshark Narwhal protocol, and we have a second series of stress test coming up in the next 5 days, where we're going to be working on doing the same thing we did last time, and then designing and building a fix for this consensus failure on the edge case. So, so how did it go? Good. I mean, look, anytime you do these things and you find things, that's a good outcome, because just a system as large and complex as Aleo. I'm sure there's probably many more bugs we haven't found, but the bottom line is the more diligent and the more committed we are to looking and being transparent and trying to find these bugs, the better off we're all going to be. So like I said, there is still a big issue, but we have a plan to fix it. And I am confident, and I synced with Howard, the CEO of the Aleo DevCo yesterday, and we both feel confident we have a plan there. Okay, wow, lots of questions coming in. Gotta scroll back up here. Stress test not finished. Awesome. Can we stress test? It doesn't seem to be stable. Yep, we're having stability issues. It's mainly around it's a lot of the validators getting overloaded with transactions and then failing. So again, I'm very confident we'll get to a stable position by mainnet. How will Foundation look like in terms of governance? We are going to be we don't have an on-chain governance mechanism. We have an off-chain governance process, which for those of you who've been, who are developers who've committed to the core protocol, you're familiar with this as ARCs, ARCs, Aleo requests for comment. So this is kind of similar to like how the internet develops, or actually even more similar to like how Bitcoin works, or even Ethereum, right? Ethereum or Bitcoin don't have on-chain governance. They have off-chain, governance processes where people discuss things and they submit BIPs or EIPs. our equivalent of that is ARCs. And we actually have an ARC that the foundation, will be submitting in the coming weeks about some best practices or best compliance policies for bridges and DeFi applications built on Aleo. And this will be a time where everybody in the community can comment on that and propose alternatives or just generally participate in the discussion. So this is going to be kind of a trial run. There have been ARCs already submitted, and some of which have already been included in the protocol. But this is the first time we're doing it as a foundation. So bear with us as we kind of build out the systems. We figure out where the majority of discussion should happen. We're debating between GitHub, for technical discussion. We'll of course have discussion on Discord, and then potentially exploring having a discourse as well. So we're trying to find the right venue there. If anyone has recommendations, please let us know. Okay. What about reward for ambassadors? Viv, do you want to take that?
I'm answering that. Yep. Don't worry. I'm doing it in the chat.
All right. Is there a plan to release mainnet in February? Q1. I'm very confident we're going to get this out in Q1. I am committed to getting this out as soon as it's ready. As people have pointed it out, it's not stable right now. So if we launch it right now in an unstable form, we're going to have to run all the validators on our side. I don't want to do that because, as for those of you who follow me on Twitter know, I'm constantly bashing people for running centralized networks, and I really don't want to look like an idiot and put my foot in my mouth by running one myself. But so look, we would, even Viv can vouch for me on this, but we would all have launched the network yesterday if it was ready. As soon as the network is ready, we will launch it. I feel we are imminently ready, and this, and we have split our organization, worked with partners, including custodians and Coinbase, right? Like for the quests, to get all this up to the, be ready for launch. And everybody is waiting for this. There's so as soon as it's ready, we will launch it. And as soon as I have more, like a finer grained update on the exact day, we will let you guys know. And I will keep you guys posted if anything changes. Okay, what's wrong with the testnet? Talked about that. Raven, I think, was talking about this, maybe a follow-up on the public distribution question. Testnet, Coinbase question, grants for the future. Yes, that's correct. I don't know. So someone said KYC is not available in all regions. Can you just just let us know which region it's not available in? And I'll put this
on that note with KYC, with KYC, we've been pretty clear that sanctioned countries and OFAC lists don't, we will not pass KYC, but otherwise KYC is available to all regions. We do track the IP from where your computer is connecting to. So if you're in a sanctioned region, then maybe that's why you can't connect to it. We'll have much more information on KYC. We're not going to leave you guys hanging. Don't worry. We have a lot of information about this stuff. It'll be very clear for deploy incentives and all of this stuff. I know, Ferry, you're writing that you're worried about the second top 50 participants. Have no fear. This stuff will be clearly laid out.
Yep. And then, okay, someone asked about 25 million Aleo tokens distributed testnet 3. What percent of these is provers, developers, validators? We actually had a blog post about this a while ago, testnet 3 incentives, where I believe we laid this out. If I recall correctly, don't hold me to this, but as I recall, it was 10 million for validators. No, 7.5 million for validators, 7.5 million for the developers, part of developer incentives, 5 million for provers, and then 5 billion was for, I believe, the bug bounty program. If I recall correctly, but that's all just detailed in the blog post. I think there was a case, I don't think it was testnet 3, but I think it was testnet 2, where we did not end up distributing all the credits that we thought we were going to, and so we had some extra credits that we're going to use to incentivize some of the early participants too. So I don't know exactly how we're going to, for credits that were available as incentives but not claimed, just generally our policy is going to be to distribute those, not keep them. But, we're still deciding a plan to distribute those in a fair manner. Okay. Okay, someone said, when will second KYC part for the point incentives top 50 participants? So we actually are working through we're going to have an entire interface where people can submit claims for Aleo credits if they were contributors, right? For all the various things that people, potentially have contributed for. Actually, we haven't announced this yet. Maybe I'll just YOLO here and announce something that maybe hasn't been said before. But if you contributed in the setup, you're also going to receive Aleo credit. So I don't know if anyone in here is still from that era of dark ages when we actually ran the Aleo setup ceremony. But if you did run the Aleo setup ceremony and you participated, you were successfully able to contribute, you are also eligible to receive Aleo credits. So that is the other category, and we'll be announcing more about that. And it's basically the means by which people can claim their credits, and we have a whole interface for that we're working on, and that includes a KYC flow. Okay. So Ferry said Ukraine region, they have no KYC. That's interesting. I didn't realize that Coinbase blocked Ukraine. Okay, well, I will talk to them. We're in touch with them. I think we have a call with them later this week. Okay. Great to hear. For mainnet should be long process. Yes, KYC for testnet 2, testnet 3. Yeah, so there's someone's I think Grin here is referencing the fact that we have a different address scheme from testnet 2 to testnet 3. And yeah, to be able to make it fair so you can claim tokens, you have to prove that you generated an address in testnet 2. You have to prove that you own that address. You have to prove that address was associated with activity. And then you have to give us a new address so we know where to, put the Aleo credits when we do the initial launch, right? So yeah, I just summarized in 5 seconds what the flow will be, but yes, we definitely want to make sure that people can't just spam this. And so please, PSA, do not spam this app. It would not be good for it to go down, and then everyone would be upset. So just if you have a claim that you think you earned, please, participate. But if you haven't, then please don't. And please, yeah, maybe I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Man, rapid fire. I love these things. They're always rapid fire. Okay. More info about 16% for employees and contributors. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. That is the initial team of Aleo, right? The people that founded the project, and the initial team that is like our full-time employees at the company. And technically it was basically everyone who was a full-time employee at the company. So it was accounting for previous contributions before the split. And then, there's a little bit more of a buffer in there for some other folks who contributed to helping make the Aleo protocol. Like, for example, we had people that worked on the setup ceremony that were contractors, and they've got a little bit of credits as well. So that's what that one is. How do I feel about the recent Zcash ban? Bad, generally. I don't know which one you're talking about, but in general, I think Zcash has been delisted a couple places. I don't like that personally. I think Zcash is a great project. Obviously, we have many of our initial team members worked in some way on that project, and we're constantly going to be advocating, to make sure that privacy technologies generally, are represented in Web3 and also increasingly in Web2. It's incredibly important to me that this technology see the light of day for many, many reasons. So that's how I personally feel about it. But on the regulatory, someone asked a regulatory front question on why do we do foundations? Is it regulatory? Look, we do foundation because I think it's the best way to have an organization support a decentralized network and a community of people from all over the world that are equally invested in it. A for-profit company with shareholders of which none one in the community would be a shareholder doesn't that's not to me like the fair way to do it. To me, the right way to really make sure this project is sustainable is to have a non-profit organization that's only mission is dedicated to growing the value of the network of which we are all stakeholders. So there's no two classes of there's shareholders and then there's community members, and no, there's only if you have an Aleo credit, you're an Aleo community member. If you're on the Aleo Discord, you're an Aleo community member. And I'm an Aleo community member. Viv's an Aleo community member. We're all community members, and the foundation is here to serve the community broadly, right? So there's obviously a huge diversity in the community, right? We have some early investors who are holders of Aleo credits, that are, I guess you would consider whales, right? So they have their own interests, but again, I want to make sure that this foundation is doing the best for all stakeholders across the board. Okay, cool. Richard put some blog. Oh, that's interesting that we didn't put it in the blog. I thought we did announce this, but okay. All right, I'll go back and confirm. We can update this blog post if we need to. Great. Got it. Yeah.
Cool.
I think that maybe concludes. Should we conclude here, Viv?
I think let's conclude it. Yeah. Alex, thank you so much for staying 6 minutes longer. And yeah, this was great. People have questions, so these types of rapid fire Q&A are so helpful to just, kind of answer quickly and update people on what's going on. So super appreciated for us to be able to just ask questions to Alex.
Cool. And I'll be back. I will not be.
Yeah,
I will
like
not
Alex
take as
said,
long of an absence. I will be back regularly. You guys can, feel
yeah,
free and save up all your questions for next time, and I will. And you can even send them ahead, and I will try and answer them up front. But
yep,
I'll work with you, Viv, on what the best way to do that would be.
totally. Yeah, as Alex said, we're gonna have someone, Alex or someone from the kind of C-suite, come every other week for you guys to ask questions and hear about updates. So you don't only have to listen to me.
Yeah. Thank you guys for
Alex,
coming, and thank you for your
yes,
great
thank you all.
questions.
Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, friends.